I bet there's a whole contingent of women out there who'd love to go one-on-one with the great one.
You talking about
Your
the Nature
wiener.
Boy Ric Flair?
You and your Schiavone wiener.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah.
That thing's retired.
It retired
I
before you did.
long time, decades before me.
Yeah. In the Nitro era,
Yeah,
maybe.
it sure did.
And it had its last match right after Jimmy's Famous Seafood, the big birthday party a few years ago.
That is pretty damn accurate.
Man, when I think about the fun we've had here on the program over the years, because we've made some crazy friends and had some crazy uh, conversations with the Steiner brothers and Tommy Young and Francine and
Oh wow,
so many others,
we haven't talked about Francine in a long time.
right?
Yeah,
But
but
maybe no more interesting person than we met than old Whitney Wright.
yeah.
And I don't know that.
Oh boy, where's this going?
No, I was just thinking about the other day how crazy that was that we did your birthday party and I had your wife there and I also had Whitney Wright send in a video. I was like, I really didn't think that one all the way through, did I?
No, but it was okay because Lois was it was kind of still kind of noisy, and Lois. I remember Lois saying, "What did she say?" And I
Yeah.
went, "Nothing."
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, Whitney uh, was subscribed to the Kickstarter for my comic book,
Yeah. She's owed a
and
phone call.
which I tried many times and never got through to her. And I just wonder what happened there.
Well, I'll tell you what's happened there. She's making money on OnlyFans these days, hand over fist.
Oh, I bet.
I've not yet subscribed to that, but I just pulled her up on social,
Mm-hmm.
and wow, business seems to be a booming.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know how she describes herself these days in her Twitter bio?
Sure. Why not?
Uh, Boy, I don't think I've ever had these words touched before.
Okay, so maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we shouldn't.
Anal and squirting goddess.
Okay. That's
Then there's a peach emoji and a splash emoji.
uh-huh.
And what's funny is on Twitter now, if you hover over it, it says peach, and then over the splash it says splashing sweat symbol.
Huh.
It's explaining what it is.
Yeah.
I
That's
didn't
for
know it
the
did that.
that's for the idiots out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do. Oh, what's that thing? What is that? Oh, that's a peach. That didn't look like a peach to me. Let's
Well,
use it.
don't go to Whitney Wright social if you're in a work setting
Mm-hmm.
or your family uses your same computer.
Right.
Because I just took a look over there and there are some things happening that they wrote about in the Bible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or if you're afraid of Jesus, don't go there.
Uh yeah, he is not present on that page.
No, he's not.
Wow. Um, Hot stuff, Eddie Gilbert, another one of those guys we've talked about before, gone way, way too soon. I know that he eventually had some issues with some substances, but allegedly one of the greater minds in professional wrestling. Did you ever get to pick his brain about wrestling? Would you agree with that? That he had a good mind for the business?
He was sharp, but I never had a chance to pick his brain. He was very opinionated backstage about things that were happening, and therefore he was very critical of Dusty's booking when he first came in. So, but yeah, Eddie knew what he was doing. There was no question. Everybody knew that. See, it's now here's how sharp he was. He knew to make that. He knew to put that hold on with his face to the camera.
Yes.
That's subtle, but that's knowing what you're doing. So yeah, I had a lot of respect for his knowledge of the business.
You guys are promoting a Clash of the Champions on December 7th in this era. You've also got a commercial that would air during the show. We won't see it here, I don't believe. But it's a home cassette, a VHS, back when that was a thing, called The Best of Starcade 1983 through 1987. Of course, it's too little too late for
Mm-hmm.
the Crockett family. They're going to be selling out. But this show would air on the 19th, 2 days ahead of when that sale would become final. And on that same day that this aired, you guys ran a show in Philadelphia at the Civic Center, drew around 5,000 fans. Stan Lane would pin the Italian Stallion. Dennis Condrey and Randy Rhodes would beat the Fantastics. Ivan Koloff would pin the Russian Assassin #2. Mike Rotunda would team up with Steve Williams to take on Bam Bam Bigelow and Ron Simmons. Barry Windham would beat Rick Steiner. And then in our main event, it was Lex Luger and Sting fighting the NWA Tag Team Champion Road Warriors to a double countout. That card didn't feel all that stacked. Then you get to the main event and you're like, oh, okay, that's pretty big. And there you see the finish. What would you call that finish right there?
I think it was called the Hot Shot.
That's right.
Like
You
that.
nailing it. And they're taking a commercial, teasing main event coming tomorrow night at 6:05 Eastern. Tommy Young is your referee. This is exciting, man. In-ring action in an arena. They've got it really, really dark. The crowd is not lit. It's just lit right over the ring. I really like that look. You've said before that JR was pretty loud and proud and saying that fans would be louder if they were dark, but when they get lit up, they get a little more self-conscious about being loud and cheering. And look at the paint. Sting is trying something new here, not the classic paint that we would grow to be accustomed to with quote unquote surfer Sting. It's like he stopped at the eyes. There's nothing above the eyes. So he's trying something new here. And he's got his what will be business partner as his tag team partner. Of course, these guys own Main Event Fitness there in the suburbs of Atlanta, and still great close personal friends all these years later. So at this point, Sting has chopped off the rat tail. He's a made man. Him and Ric Flair set a record heads up against WrestleMania 4, the very first Clash of the Champions earlier this year. And now they're giving that same rub to Lex Luger. Of course, at this point, he's been a horseman. He's been kicked out of the horseman. He's a babyface. As a kid, man, I love the tag team of Lex Luger and Sting. You were there to see it all sort of come together. What'd you think of this pairing?
Well, I thought they were tremendous. I obviously, I think we all knew that Sting. Am I right by saying that Sting was a bigger star than Lex Luger at this time?
Yes.
Yes. We all knew that Sting was a bigger star, but because of their friendship that you talked about and their business deals, they really worked very well together. They looked good. They were great, and they were a joy to work with. You know, one time I had asked Sting, I don't know if I ever told you this story or not. I had asked Sting, I said, your face paint, how do you decide what your face paint is going to look like? And he said, I never know until I look in the mirror that night.
Wow.
He just improvised every time. I mean, he obviously used colors that would coordinate with his whatever ring gear he was wearing. But as far as the design goes, he never knew what he was going to do until it was in the dressing room and he's painting his face.